I guess this is more for Henry and Raju. So you guys both work in companies that are, I guess, more broad than just energy. How do you like go through recruiting and move your talk to recruiters and put yourself like you want to be in the energy sector? Is that something you choose, or how does that work?
Richard, you want to start off?
Yeah, sure, I'll go ahead. So for me, it was actually kind of not a straightforward process, and so I'm glad you asked the question. Um, because I was in Boston, but at the same time had some interest in the oil and gas space and knew that I wanted to come back to Houston for a little bit, I specifically went through the process asking recruiters and talking to the companies about Houston opportunities. And so somewhat for me, it was like a self-selective process. Like I knew I wanted energy, and by going to Houston, it's like if you come to Houston, there's like a very good chance you're going to be in the energy space and in the oil and gas space. So that obviously narrowed down opportunities, first of all, just by choosing geography. But to make it more applicable to you guys, I mean, regardless of where you do end up in terms of city, I think it's important to go into the process having um, somewhat of a clear understanding of whether you want to have that focus. And you may not. Some of you guys may just be exploring and decide in the next couple of years that you change your mind. But I think at the same time, having some certainty and knowing ahead of time that you want to do energy stuff will go a long way in even making you successful in the recruitment process in general because it differentiates you from others, right? Especially for those who go into consulting and finance, which are broader fields, as you said. A lot of people go in like having no clue what they want to do, and so you get completely I think disregarded is a strong word, but you get, wrapped up into a category of people who's just exploring and doesn't really know what part of the firm or what group or anything they want to do. And on the other hand, if someone goes in knowing that, look, I want to be working on these kind of projects, and I know that your company has done these kind of things in this space, that I think makes you very differentiated as a candidate and will actually make you successful whether you choose energy or something else, and regardless of which firm you go to. So that kind of specificity, I think, is very useful.
Yeah, I would say that, if you have a plan, like as you said, you're going to be able to kind of self-select. You're going to be able to sniff out the opportunities in the space and the companies that you're looking at, or, you wouldn't be applying to them otherwise. But really when it comes down to it, you're going to take the best job that you can. And what you have to make sure that you do is, with this interest, plant the right seeds. Go after the interviews that you want. Go after the jobs that you want, because you're going to have to apply to a whole lot more places than will accept you. And I would say that with this plan, you kind of already have a short list of companies that are in your field that are, energy related. There's a good list there, but don't pigeonhole yourself more than anything. Take the best opportunity for you that's available, and that has to do with pedigree, what you're doing in terms of work, and if you like it or not, because you don't want to be miserable. So when you're selecting a job, those are the things to think about. You can self-select, but only if you do it, and you're going to end up taking the best job you can. So make sure that the pool is, the pool that you're looking for.
Awesome, thank you.
One point I'd throw in there very quickly too is that a lot of jobs are a good first step towards getting into energy, because developing fundamentals is just flat out critical. So I'm looking at Raju and Henry, and I know both of them are very interested in finance, and frankly, looking at Julian, I know that he gets his nose rubbed into the financial side of things probably more than he expected. So, there's an example of, you could spend your first year or two just developing good, solid financial skills. Sun Edison, for example, there's a solar company. They're just swimming with engineers, and these engineers very often are doing financial development work, developing financial skills. Or you could be, going into banking, pure banking, nothing to do with energy, and develop solid financial skills, and then after a year or two, you move in. And I have, yeah, throw that in there for what it's